Hi everyone and welcome to episode 8 of Fill in the Blink, where we fill you in on everything business and tech. I'm Neha and today I have Huma with me. Hi Huma, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for being on our show. So Huma is a trailblazing creative director in Pakistan and she is the most awarded female in Pakistan in the marketing industry. She also recently went to Cannes Lion CB8 cohort 2023 in France. And she has a lot to share with us about, how brands can go viral, which is the topic that we have today. Since you recently just came back from Cannes, what would you say are like the key takeaways or the insights that you have that you want to share with like other brands so that they can also, incorporate that in their marketing?
I think brands need to realize that consumers are not dumb anymore. They're smarter than you give them credit for. Like we discussed, just showing them consuming your product or using your product is not going to cut the deal anymore.
Yeah.
You should just observe how you go about on your social media when you come across an ad and you can't wait to skip the button. So that means that ad, that concept, that creative has failed massively.
Right.
So to make stories around how to sell your products organically and just relate to your consumers, like why would you buy, for example, this cup if it's going to be like, look at this cup, look at my chugging shot. Not unless I tell you, for example, show your story that how many times this cup has helped you out in your life, like
Right.
in late night study sessions, or when you're doing this, your cup is right next to you. You'd feel that relatability, and that's going to create a connection with that brand. So the next time you're like, oh yeah, mujhe cup lena, you'd be like,
This cup.
I remember I saw that. So
Yeah.
that's the thing I want the brands to take away. You don't treat your
Right.
consumers like crap and think they're intelligent beings who are going to know what you're trying to sell them.
Right.
Chura na bitch, basically.
Basically, yeah. So like what you just said, brands do sort of have that aspirational value that they're trying to sell.
Yeah.
And the main thing that I think people should really think about and focus on is like what benefit is the customer getting out of your product or your brand, right?
Yeah.
And that's something that they should be focusing
Yeah,
on,
exactly,
right?
yeah.
Because people aren't dumb
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. And you need to be really quick in selling your product. Don't need to send an entire story. Not unless it's like really insightful. Then I suggest that do that. But now, other than that, yaar, ye cup lena hai, lo, nahi lena, na lo. It should be that, because that's how we have seen that change in our mental
in the
capacity
mindset,
as well. Okay, भाई click, अच्छा मुझे खरीदना है, जोड़ा खरीदना है, I'll go to the online and I'll buy it.
Like
That's
there's
it.
no more waiting around
Yeah,
anymore.
exactly.
And it's also like the game of like the fastest selling, the first person that you see or the first brand that you see, that's the one that you're gonna go with, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's a lot of like, it's also creative, but it's also like availability, visibility. and
Yeah,
all of that.
visibility. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about how brands can go viral. Can you share some examples of like past campaigns or brands that you worked on that you helped gain virality?
Quite a few. So basically, I do have an expertise in social welfare projects a lot. That's how I won all these awards and all that. So I do feel that if you do something around some social cause, हमारे और वैसे ही पाकिस्तान में बहुत problems हैं, ठीक है? And every other day कोई ना कोई problem highlight हो रही है, जैसे अभी हमारे बिजली के बिल की problem highlight हो रही है.
Yeah.
And for the brand to connect to the ongoing climate of your country, and somehow come up with an idea that ये नहीं कि push कर दे कि भाई मैंने कब जो है ना बिजली के बिल से relate करना है. No, it has to be very organic. That's where the creative comes in. कि यार अभी ये मसला चल रहा है, and how can we? So then that gets picked up. For example, I remember this was in pandemic, so I got a lot of clients during pandemic. There is a brand called Zay Beauty, which is run by a Pakistani woman based in UAE, and she's made this entire line for South Asian women. So I had this idea, especially occasion-based branding, जो आपके आते हैं campaigns. So it was Independence Day आने वाला था. तो मुझे एकदम से, and you get that epiphany moment, ना कि oh, this is an idea. So it was about कि Independence Day और हम Independence celebrate कर रहे हैं, then you go out in the night and you see all the men on motorcycles celebrating, मतलब मन चले, enjoying, and then you wonder कि are the women independent enough? Are we free? And that's when I got the idea that we're actually not free. And it's the basic things that women do that men don't realize it. So it could be as simple as putting on a red lipstick before going to work and realizing that someone is going to pass a comment that aaj badi chammak challo ban kar aayi hain aap. So you take it off. Or it's ordering a ride through Uber or Careem, or aap usme side view mirror mein driver aapko dekh raha hota hai, and what you do is कि you inch to the आप चाहते हो कि वो आपको ना देखे, और आप लॉक भी ऑन कर लेते हो, और फिर अब्बू को अब्बू हाँ मैंने लाइव लोकेशन शेयर कर दी है. We're not free. These things are very taxing. So I just wanted to highlight that and bring the question ke in this Independence Day, look around you and see if the women around you are free or not. And I called her up and she's like, send me the deck. I had a meeting for her for 15 minutes. As a woman, she understood what I wanted to say. So I got a team of only women, because I was like, this is not going to get translated by a guy. He doesn't understand our plight. So there was a female director, Sanina, usko maine hire kiya. Usne humne ek video banai and we just posted it up and it got viral. Every girl could relate to it. Ke, yes, I do this. Yes, I do that. Yes, when I'm walking in public space or आगे से आदमी आ रहा होगा, मैं अपना रास्ता बदल लूंगी लेकिन वो चलता रहेगा. So these are small hints that made us realize that we're not free. And this Independence Day, we need to ask the men in our society कि आपकी 42-47% population आज़ाद ही नहीं है, तो आप किस बात के आज़ादी को से. And that's when the TikTok incident also happened at Minar Pakistan. So it got even more virality. Look, this is what happens. Yes. So if you pick up whatever's going inside your society and relate it to your brand and just talk about some, और उसमें मैंने कहीं brand नहीं दिखाई थी, but there were instances जैसे red lipstick है तो उसमें उसकी lipstick आ गई थी. अगर वो side view mirror में check करे तो वो अपने compact mirror में check करी थी. तो brand को भी बहुत subtly डाला, ऐसा नहीं कि वो सामने आ रहा है, but it worked wonders. Like they got so much impression. It wasn't just Pakistan, India shared it so much as well. So that's these viral campaigns is if you feel that relatability कि हाँ यार ये मेरे साथ होता है, it's just gonna get viral.
Each person that views that campaign can relate, so I think that is how it becomes like a spillover effect. फिर viral
का भी there's two ways to it. It could be bad trolling or it could be good, but we considered it if it's being talked about, we're fulfilling our purpose. So we did a campaign for UN women, which was basically जब announce हुआ था कि lightly beating your wife का था, right? So we're like कितना lightly, like what is considered lightly beating? So we came up with this campaign that women are inviting men to beat me at the game that I'm strong at. So for example, if I'm going to be like, okay, come beat me, I'm inviting men to come beat me at, making creative concepts or creative campaigns. If you're inviting someone, you're inviting them to, manage an entire office. So you're inviting men at the game that you're strong at. So we did this entire campaign and it blew up, and there was a lot of backlash कि क्या मतलब है, अब औरतें बुला रही हैं, आदमी को invite करी beat me. They didn't understand the dual play that we were playing on, but people were talking about it, people were sharing it, Al Jazeera, Vice News, and everyone was talking about it, and in the end National Assembly picked it up and talked about it. So you do get a lot of pressure if the international media picks it up. फिर उन लोगों को भी feel होता है कि वो लोगों को पता चल रहा है.
We must talk about it also.
So there was a senator who spoke about it, like ये हो रहा है और हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे, and that's what we put up in our case study के it was at least talked about in a place where laws are made.
Right. So that means that did work. It did reach like the right people as well.
It did.
It did. But when we talk about creating content and it goes viral, sometimes brands do it on purpose, right? They're like, okay, this is the brief and we want this campaign to go viral. So how do you balance, creating authentic content which goes viral as opposed to, like ingenuous content that is picked up by people that, they're trying too hard?
Yeah, so like I said, your consumers are not stupid anymore. So if you're doing a campaign for the heck of doing campaign, people can see through that. Like they can see through this crap that you're trying to sell them. a brand that stands up for, say, women empowerment. अब आप Women's Day पे देखें सबके campaigns लगे हुए होते हैं, but मैं I've been dying to do this campaign. I have this idea कि मैं Women's Day पे campaign करूँ कि नहीं करो parties, नहीं करो, हमें bonuses दे दो, हमें increments दे दो, हमें अपनी period leaves दे दो.
The important thing.
Yeah, I want to. I last time when it hit me, because इतने आ रहे थे एक के बाद है कि this day we are celebrating the women of our company, and I'm like, इस तरह नहीं celebrate होती औरत, उसको चाहिए भी नहीं कि आप 4 balloon लगा दो और cake काट दो, नहीं यार, like give us our basic rights, like give us the positions that we deserve. So when firms or companies do something like that, and then you see all these other Facebook groups that women are part of, right? And you see that their own employees are like, इन्होंने मेरे साथ ये किया, इन्होंने मेरे साथ ये किया, HR के ये मसले किए, you like, you can see through them. You can't say कि भाई I'm all about, for example, you know, say women empowerment. I keep saying that because that seems like such a bubble that companies want to live in. There was a huge conference by one of the biggest conglomerate in Pakistan, और उसमें women representation की बात थी, and there was a picture where there were only 6 men and 1 woman. And I messaged that woman, I'm like, what a representation. She's like, no, they just got, and she couldn't understand. Obviously, she was happy that she was part of it, and I applaud that she at least became part of a women conference. But for her to not say, okay, you know, there are 6 men and 1 woman, we need to have more female perspectives here. People can see through that. So doing some viral campaign for the heck of it, it's not gonna cut it. Like your brand values, your company values need to be aligned with that. Only then it can come. I think period leaves ka there was this Swivel ने किया था, Swift ने किया था, where they had like, you know, okay, if your company is giving you period leaves, we will, you know, compensate and female transfer वगैरह का करेंगे. It seemed good, but then it fizzled out because it's not just period leaves. There are a lot of other aspects of that, right? So if you talk about child labor or any issue that you pick up, that can be talked about. You're talking about, for example, the economic situation right now, right? And आप बात तो कर रहे हो, आपने कैंपेन बना दिया कि हाय बिजली का बिल बढ़ रहा है, लोगों की ये मसले हैं, इसलिए आप हमारी चाय पिए और इसमें इतना ये है वो हलाने का, but you're not increasing your employee salaries and everything, then it don't cut through the bullshit, basically. That's what I say, yes.
So the takeaway would be that it should align with your actual brand's values and what you're offering, and also it should be genuine. No, it shouldn't be just for the heck of it, just for the sake of it, because everybody's talking about it.
Let's
try to fit it into our brand also, and you know, try to make it viral.
But Neha, also that if you pick up any viral campaign, you will face some backlash. और फिर अगर आप उस पे apologetic behavior रखो, that means you're not gutsy enough to do that viral campaign. So if you're going to talk about, say, you know, transgender rights or something, and anyone says कि भाई ये तो फलाने में जो हमारे होते हैं बहुत का, and you're like, oh, we're sorry for our previous campaign, then you're not doing it right.
Then own up to it.
You weren't true to that campaign, and it's going to show. आपने हल्का सा पानी में पाँव डाला और फिर आपको डर लग गया और you like it, अब हमने नहीं करना. It won't. You lose a lot of brand audience on that.
That's true. That's true.
I'll give you an example. So for example, अभी कतर का World Cup हुआ था. So Carlsberg sent an entire beer का पूरा container. And वो वहाँ पे पड़ा था. And you remember this picture got viral. It's banned in Qatar. So अब हमारे यहाँ पे ब्रांड होते तो 4-5 लोग तो फायर हो चुके होते हैं ना कि ये क्या आप लोगों ने रिसर्च ही नहीं की थी, वहाँ पे तो हलाल ही नहीं है, ये है वो हराम है. But what they did was they twisted it around and they tweeted, well, this is awkward, with the same picture, funny, with the same picture that would have been a PR disaster. They switched it around. Well, this is awkward. What their PR team did was that they were like, okay, you know what, whichever country is going to win, we're going to transport that beer over there and we're going to host a party for it. So they turned
it around.
A disaster towards something. And my husband was like, what if वो Qatari जीत जाता? Like, I swear the tweet is going to come, well, this is even more awkward. But, you know, they take ownership of it, and you can, बाहर की जितनी भी brands हैं, they're so evolved because they take ownership of the fact कि यार हमसे गलती हो गई और ये हो गया है. But, you know, to not humanize your brand is also going to...
I think that's also really important because you are talking to humans.
Yeah.
Act like a human.
Act like a human, exactly.
Don't be a robot.
Yeah, don't be a robot. के oh we apologize for वो पूरी एक statement नहीं आती हमारे यहाँ पे पूरा एक वो image में आ जाती है statement कि ये और signature CEO का होता है. They just did it with a tweet and they got so much of mileage. और अर्जेंटीना में उन्होंने पूरा किया. It was crazy how you can turn a PR disaster into something so good. And it's not campaign nahi bante. It could be a simple tweet that can be viral, you know. It's just as simple as that.
As simple as that.
So I'll give you another example as well. Argentina won the World Cup. Everyone in Argentina was looking forward कि भाई ये वो आएगी trophy आएगी. There was a food delivery service in Argentina who decided, they literally Googled where is the trophy coming from, and they got the flight number.
Right.
And they put it in their code. और जितने उनके users थे उनके पास notification चली गई your World Cup trophy is on the way, and they could see जो हम लोग अपने food panda rider को they could see वो icon के वजह trophy बनी हुई थी और वो पूरा जो है ना around the world travel कर रहा था.
That's really fun.
Crazy, it's simple ideas like that can go viral कि आप बैठे हुए और आपके पास आ जाए कि ना आपकी World Cup की trophy आ रही है. Like if Pakistan won a World Cup,
right,
it'll be crazy. But it's, you know, these simple things, relevant things that can make you go viral.
Yeah.
You don't do it for the heck of it.
Yeah.
So that's the idea, yeah.
That's I mean, it's really smart how these brands have actually, you know, taken something so simple and just, you know,
had fun with it.
Yes, exactly. Had fun with it. So I think that's something that all brands should
think
start
about.
doing.
Yeah. Don't take themselves so seriously. बहुत serious नहीं लेना.
Seriously. But, you know, let's talk about female empowerment and women in leadership roles. So since you've been in this industry for so long, what would you say have been the challenges that you faced, and like how did you overcome them? And what advice would you give to, you know, aspiring girls who want to be in these positions?
I hope we have a couple of days for that. The struggles there are.
Very short, concise.
Yeah, it's a male-dominated industry. Yeah. And after coming from France, I've realized patriarchy is a universal problem, right? But you have to realize that I to clearly say this as a fact, women are superior beings. We think about 10 different scenarios in our head, and people make fun about it. Oh, you're overthinking. No, I'm being prepared about all of these things because we're women in Pakistan. We have to think about a million things over here, right? For me, starting my own company, I do say, and I said this in France as well, in Cannes Line as well, I come from a very privileged class in Pakistan. I do not represent the main masses of women or unke struggles को मैं नहीं represent करती. But since मेरा privilege है, मैं उस privilege को for the betterment of women के लिए use करूँ. For example, I've been in meetings where I was getting mansplained, and I was like, you know, you're literally explaining the idea that I just told. Like, why are you explaining me the idea that I came up with? You know, like I've taken stand and said it because I have the privilege to say it. मेरे पीछे जो दूसरी creative होगी या छोटी इनसे होगी या meeting में जो younger lot बैठा हुआ है, they don't have the guts or the position to say such things, but I can. So I would, risking that client is going to get offended and might not give me the project, but at least I would say something and make the person realize कि तुम पढ़े लिखे हो. You can't do that. You be more sensible about these things. There have been meetings where I've literally put my laptop down and walked out because they were just not understanding what I was. They refused to acknowledge कि ये कोई समझदार बात कर रही है. Despite the fact मैंने पूरी presentation दी है. There was a client who wanted to meet a man from my side just to give me the project, and I called up my partner. This is why I even had a partner. I was like, यार आके like मुझे कुछ पता नहीं, मैंने कि बस आके भाई तू सलाम दुआ कर. That's it. And he literally came, he's like, जी मैंने ये काम किया वो किया. अच्छा ठीक है, okay. वो हमें बस होता है ना. क्या होता है यार, मैंने पूरा सब कुछ करे. In the end, I executed the project, but it was just a gentleman's handshake that he wanted and didn't want to feel कि भाई मैंने औरत को काम दिया या ये औरत कर भी सकती है कि नहीं. So these are the struggles that I faced. But again, to younger lot, I would say there are women like me who are trying really hard to make way for you guys and not just putting the foot in the door, but banging it open for you guys. Support. And one thing is very, very important is be kind to other women. Be kind to every human. But for women, it's more important because we have a lot of struggles. We will have colleagues who are coming from home, उनके अपने मसले, सास ने मसले किए हैं, घर में बच्चे की तबीयत खराब है, या you know, parents are being toxic and all these things, and women come from those setups and come to the office, and they might be going through that. I'm not saying give them a leverage, but just be kind to them. And अगर आपके लिए कोई एक space बन रही है, make more space for more women.
Right.
Try to do that. Patriarchy has been playing this part really well, pitting women against women. कि भाई हमारे पास तो एक ही spot है और Hunger Games और लड़ो वाला scene है. नहीं, the women should look at him and say क्यों लड़ें? When we're both credible, why can't you give us this space? And I've heard stories, जो again they come from privilege, they were from states where a woman with the same position as the man went up to the guy and said, "Okay, listen, what pay are you getting?" And she was like, "It's okay if you don't want to share." And he was like, "No, this is what I'm getting." It was 25% more than. And so they both went to the HR and said कि हम लोग के same job titles हैं, and ये क्यों हो रहा है? वो HR pack हो गई थी. नहीं, okay, we'll figure this out. ये है, वो है, फलाना है. And then even then they were giving her like a 10% increase और उसका reduce कर रहे थे. And then they both took a stand to, you know, जैसे Emma Watson का campaign था, so he for she, कि if the man will not, अगर वो बोलता कि हम किसी को जाके हमारे ऑफिस में भैया तुम्हारी क्या सैलरी तो बताते ही नहीं ना यार, मैं क्यों बता, which is another corporate game that they play कि सैलरी नहीं बता अपना को. No, you need to share. This is corporate playing you cannot, you should talk about your salaries, and men should be secure enough कि अच्छा ये मुझसे मेरी senior है तो why is she getting the same pay as me. डरते हैं कि यार बता दिया तो आगे HR बोलेगा आपकी भी सैलरी रिड्यूस कर देते हैं. But you need to stand up for women around you, because trust me, this world or this country is going to get better only if women are given their due share.
I agree. I think, that's something that's really important for all women, not just in Pakistan but also worldwide.
Everywhere,
Be kind to other women and not just other human beings, and you know, just try to have that sort of understanding with everyone. Be patient and kind. Thank you so much, Huma, for being here and, you know, filling us in on everything about virality for brands as well as women empowerment, which is a very important conversation to have. And it was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.